What do you do when a launch isn't exactly what you want? I will say it was more what I expected, but not what I wanted. But last week I had my first semi-launch event. I use the word event very lightly. I set up at a restaurant with some small signs, hoping to chat with people. I knew the night before, I was like, I'm either going to find out if this is a flop or a success, but either way, I'm going to get data, and data is what I got. So it wasn't like a big event that I was expecting lots of people to show up to. Really had zero idea of what to expect and walked away with some really good data on what kind of events to have and what kind of events to do in the future. We have launched with the city of Denison, Texas, which is really exciting. So we set up a fun adventure and a few puzzles around town. And Saturday went to a restaurant called Let Us Indulge, who was excited about it, and really just set up in store. And the goal was to talk to people reading there, see if there was any interest, and invite them to solve puzzles around the store. The good takeaway is mostly that people just want to eat lunch. I think there's a real expectation thing. If people are coming in with this as a expectation, it's a lot different than coming down to eat lunch and having some dude telling you he's working with the city come and chat with you. Big takeaway, and it's given me some direction on what kind of events to do, and that's actually one of the next steps. Is I'm going to start building a template for events to do in the city and just small events to do otherwise. Before I dive in a little deeper, I will go into like the real highlight. Is near the end of the day, there was a family sitting there. They were sitting there, and two of their kids were just on their phones, and so I told them about it, like, hey, open world, let you play puzzles around restaurants, around town, let you discover your city in a new way. They really liked the idea, and they had their kids go and open up the platform and basically spent the lunch solving puzzles around the store. I was helping them out a little bit, and then while they were eating lunch, they were chatting about it the whole time, like being really interactive as a family. And then afterward, they actually went and solved a couple more puzzles, and I gave them my card, and they actually called me with some questions on one, which I'm like, one, that's really helpful because I'm still learning how to better adjust puzzles and how to design them. But that interaction is the kind of thing I want to see more of, and was like, I've got to hit the right people in the right atmosphere. And it was just really cool to see a family talking and chatting the whole time. When the kids started out on their phone, it ended up like exploring the store as if it were an escape room, and then going downtown to do more. And then they even requested that I add another city to the platform. While in all, the event wasn't necessarily what I would consider a quote unquote success, there were some really good successes from it, and I got some good data. And it's certainly kind of given me an idea of what kind of events to do. I think the narrative-driven kind of, I'm playing off the name of the company, open world type businesses. I want to do events called side quests, where they're these puzzle adventures, but you get to go around and do different things. You don't have to do it all. You can do it all. And if you interact with these different side quests during it might give you benefits during it. And so it's this kind of next level puzzle adventure. And I've got ideas of how I can build it out. And it would be really unique from what's being offered. And no one's making this offering in the travel and tourism space. I talked with a company last week who's based in San Francisco. They really focus on corporate events, and they do really like cinematic, thematic escape rooms. They're doing electronics and everything. It's really cool. And I learned from them, they actually got started by doing events. And one of the consultants I work with, he does events. And so it's getting really clear to me that events are the entry point in a market. If I want to launch in Dallas, I need to have some cool events that build hype. And then these events live in the city. So the event is around the opening of an adventure or something really cool, and then it lives on. And so that gathers the people who are in there, and that helps build the community. And that builds upon the fact that I hosted events for 5 years when I was running Taser. I was hosting spikeball events throughout Texas and have a lot of event experience. So that is one really clear takeaway from this last weekend is I need to have the right event prepared, and then I can work with the city to actually launch it. But upcoming this week, we should be launching in Palestine, Texas, which is in East Texas. They have been super excited about the platform. They have put together a lot of really cool stuff. We've been going back and forth, really refining the adventure and the puzzles and the script. And it's a fun train puzzle with some cool stuff. We're finalizing that. They're putting some prizes around it. They've got a nice marketing plan put together, and we'll be supporting that a bit as well. And so that's another launch this week. And then I also got a soft green light from another city. So I'm going to wait until the city has a full green light and they've actually signed on. But that's just another city in the pipeline. Because right now the goal is get that one good, not necessarily launch, but get that one city where there's a lot of benefits from. And if it's a few cities, that's great. And then that case study moves forward and sells others. Along with that, I'll be working on the creator studio so that I can actually onboard individuals and get creator feedback and create this creator community. So a few big things in the pipeline this week, but it's exciting. I've also got a few hours of contract work I'll be doing too. That's just side money to help keep everything rolling. But if things are exciting right now, I'm getting data, getting experiences. And even though the launch wasn't necessarily what I would have chosen, I got data. I knew I'd get data out of it, and I did, and I've got a lot clearer direction on some of my next steps. So that is today's the 17th. I'm actually recording a video on a Monday, and so I'll probably post it on Tuesday, but that's the update for the week. Thanks, y'all.